Deranged Airsoft here, Deranged Professor speaking, and I'm going to show you how to adjust the distance between the valve here on the redline N7 milsim and your trigger on the gearbox for your M4. So if redline says when you install this in your gearbox, the first thing you're going to want to do is check to make sure that you have enough play between this part of the valve and your trigger. Let me pull the trigger out of the gearbox here. So the valve is actually actuated by this portion of the trigger here. And it sits in there like that, about like that in the gearbox. When you pull the trigger, it pushes up on the valve and pivots back. I know this is really rough understanding, but this is actually how it works. If you have these two sitting too close together in your gearbox, let's say touching like this, when the gun is on semi and you pull it, there's still a little bit of play between the trigger and the semi lock. And you may actually get this valve to actuate when it's on semi. So what redline recommends that you do is you make sure that there is what they call a little bit of play or tolerance between these two pieces, so that when they sit together, you should have a little bit of a gap there between the two, so that when you play with it or hit the trigger in semi, you don't accidentally actuate this. Now when you get it, you'll have to adjust that. The way that you adjust it, and these will come pretty already set, but they may need to be adjusted closer to your trigger or farther away, depending. The way that you do that is basically with just a small set of pliers. You just loosen up this nut here that's holding that, and you just gently loosen it up there. And then by turning this, or turning this valve here towards the front of the gearbox, you then create more distance. If you turn it towards the back of the gearbox this way, you would then create closer distance to the trigger. Once you have it set where you want it to, and I'm not going to move it too much because I already have it set, all you have to then do is just re-snug down this nut here around the valve, and you're good to go. So it's that simple. They recommend, now I've already installed this into my gearbox and I already have the lines and hoses attached. When you receive this in the mail, these hoses will not both be attached to the actual solenoid or to the actual engine. So it's easier to adjust this without hooking all the lines up. And in their instructions that come with it, that's what they actually recommend, is to adjust your height first before installing anything else. And then once you have your height adjusted to where you think it's going to be good, then you can go ahead and start installing everything else. So I hope this helped you out as if you're trying to figure out how to adjust this valve. If you don't have enough adjustment, just loosen this nut up a little bit more and continue turning it to however far you need to. You really should only need to go 180 degrees in either direction for this to actually fit and sit nicely where it needs to with the correct spacing between it and your trigger. So hope that helps. This has been Deranged Professor speaking, and I hope to see you guys out on the airsoft field. Let us know what you think, and hope to see some more people out there with some other HPA engines, whether it be Redline or Wolverine or Polar Star. HPA is a ton of fun, and I hope you guys get out there and try it sometime, or see if you can find someone that has a gun and try it. So this has been Deranged Professor speaking. Hope to see you guys out on the airsoft field, and we'll catch you later.